Are you considering moving to Philadelphia or New York City or another major city on the East Coast? If that's you, this video is for you. We're going to break it all down for you. The pros, the cons, that you must absolutely think about before making a move. Philly, the city of brotherly love, the birthplace of America, cheesesteaks, versus New York City, the greatest city in the world, the Big Apple. Broadway shows galore. Who will be the winner? Stay tuned. Hey everyone, it's Chris Fuhrman and this is my channel, Living in Center City, Philadelphia. Welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Now, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn more about what it's like to live and enjoy Center City, Philadelphia in particular, make sure to tap that subscribe button below, click that notification bell right next to it so you're notified each and every time we put out a brand new video for you. And we actually get a lot of people that are reaching out to us looking to relocate to the Philadelphia area, and we love helping them out on the journey. So if you're thinking about making a move, have any questions about the area, particular neighborhoods, condo buildings, really anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Just shoot us a quick email and we'd love to help you out on your journey. Also, full disclosure here, in case it's not obvious at this point, I live in Philly and I am biased. Now, that being said, I grew up 30 miles from New York City, about 30 minutes, depending on traffic. With the tunnel, that was pretty horrible, 45 to an hour potentially. And I've been there many times, so I know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get down to the showdown. First up is entertainment, arts, and culture, nightlife, lumping these all really together in one. Now, if you know anything about either city, you'll know that they both have thriving cultural amenities. However, I don't think anyone can argue that New York City has a level of excitement or allure that Philly just doesn't have. Not that Philly's lacking per se, but New York City has so many more people and entertainment on a much more vast scale. For example, Philly can't beat their Broadway-style shows, but they often come to Philly. So there's definitely a different level of excitement and allure. So I would say that New York City definitely wins this round, but it really is a personal preference, what you want and enjoy more. Maybe you don't want as many crowds and activities in New York City. While Philly does have a vibrant and compelling nightlife, if you really want to catch a show in New York City, but want a more affordable area, you can always take a train or drive up to New York City for a quick weekender or Friday night to see a Broadway-style show. All right, next up is population and population density. In 2024, Philly's population was somewhere around 1.5 million and New York City's was 8.1 million. However, everyone knows that New York City is larger, but I think a more relevant factor here to consider is not the amount of people, but the population density. And according to World Population Review, 2024 data for Philly puts it at 11,000 approximately people per square mile, and New York City is 27,000 approximately per square mile in 2024. That is a big difference. And if you've ever been to New York City, that's not a big surprise. New York City is much more densely populated than Philadelphia. So assuming you don't want to feel claustrophobic, like you're bumping into people in the streets, which literally happens in New York City, Philly is probably the clear winner here. But to each their own. Next up is convenience and walkability. Philly does have a more intuitive grid structure and is much smaller than New York. New York City has a much more vast transit system for sure, but it needs it due to its size. Figuring out the New York City subway system is certainly much more complex compared to Philly's pretty intuitive and straightforward subway system and the grid layout system here for the streets. Furthermore, Philly is constantly ranked as one of the most walkable cities in America, typically number one. USA Today in 2024, 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards ranked Philly the number one most walkable city in the US again. And as you can imagine, the most walkable section of Philadelphia is Center City, Philly, our downtown. It's only about an hour walk to go from one end of Center City, let's say Penn's Landing, to the other side, let's say the Schuylkill River. Whereas New York City's Manhattan downtown is something like 10 miles in length. So I think Philly is the clear winner here, though New York City is clearly still walkable. And real quick, if you found this video helpful thus far, it would mean the world to me if you wouldn't mind going below real quick, clicking that like button so that YouTube knows I'm putting out some helpful content. I would greatly appreciate that. All right, next up on our list is economic opportunities. Clearly, both cities have plenty of job opportunities, but one is better than the other? Well, New York City is much larger, obviously, as we've talked about, and does offer a wider range of opportunities in varied industries. If you're in finance, media, or trying to be an actor, of course, or an artist like that, you may be better suited in New York City. If you're in the medical field or in certain types of medical research, you may be better served in Philadelphia. Now, considering job opportunities alone is not sufficient, in my opinion, to choose a clear winner in this particular category, so we can call it a tie for this round. What's best for you will depend on not only your industry, but also your salary in light of the cost of living for that particular location, which leads us to our next point, which is the cost of living. I think it's obvious to most. The cost of living in New York City is much higher than Philadelphia. But how much higher? Well, let's start by looking at home prices. Since this channel is primarily focused on highlighting Center City Philadelphia, we're going to compare Center City to Manhattan in New York City. First is looking at the entire city. Overall though, if you do that, you get a similar result. The median home price in Center City Philly was somewhere around $500,000 as per Realtor.com. The median home price in Manhattan is somewhere around $1.6 million based on Realtor.com's data. That's 3x the cost, which is crazy. And if you compare all of Philly versus New York City affordability gets even worse. According to the website bestplaces.com, New York City is 65.4% more expensive than Philadelphia. Everything is costlier in New York City. Housing, insurance, food, healthcare, utilities, the list goes on. Philly is the clear winner here for cost of living. Before we jump to our next point of consideration, which can literally be life or death and is extremely important, as much as we love making these videos, we love helping people relocate to the Center City Philadelphia area even more. So if you're remotely considering moving here in the next few months or even the next few years, just send us a quick email. We would love to get you on our radar and put some information into your hands. Ask us any questions that you have. We literally do this every day in and day out. We help people relocate to the Philadelphia area all the time. We'd love to help you out. All right, next up, quality of life and stress. I believe that quality of life and stress should be the most important factor to you when deciding which city to move to. As you know, mental health issues are at an all-time high in America. Let's not make things worse by making our home more stressful. Of course, numerous things can lead to stress, but financial stress is certainly a big one. It's probable that you'll have more financial stress in New York City with a much higher cost of living. You'll obviously have to calculate that yourself based on what your possible income is that you'll get in New York City versus Philly. Just don't forget about New York's much higher state income tax and other variables. So if the cost of living is going to be a source of contention in your household, why let it be? Make the clear choice and move to Philly. I also believe that population density can cause stress, and if being in New York City around swarms of people makes you feel like you're a sardine in a can, maybe that's not the best for you. What's most important is your quality of life, your health, and enjoyment of life. So come to Philly and be happy. And check out my neighborhood tour playlist right here if you want to learn about some more awesome neighborhoods in the Center City Philadelphia area. Just click on the list, check it out, enjoy.